Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality. While listening, you'll be exposed to inspiring, empowering, and unifying perspectives that I'm highly confident will yield stellar results in your life if you opt to try them on for size. Also, at optimistic.tv, we have officially begun releasing the first few episodes of our new late-night style, consciousness-elevating video variety talk show, Optimistic, which features live visionary art, soul share interviews, retreat guests here at the Mystic Manor, as well as live musical performances. I'm also super excited to announce that we are currently making plans to release the rest of Season 1 on my personal favorite online streaming service. So stay tuned to optimistic.tv to follow the unfolding development of this exciting Optimistic expansion, as we'll be posting more info and release dates there soon. And in the meantime, be sure to check out, of course, the first few episodes at optimistic.tv as well. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a magical Monday here in the studio as I record. And as always, I am super grateful to be with you guys. Hope you are having a magical moment, magical now moment, whenever, wherever you're receiving this transmission. Today, I want to talk about adaptability and not holding on to things. The idea that the more you hold, the more you hurt. And I'm sure everyone can relate to this to some degree, certainly varying degrees. Some of us are really, really adept at letting things flow through us, and others really hold on to things, and everything in between, right? So we all have varying degrees of dealing with this very, very thing. And so I'm going to go down the rabbit hole with this today, and I have a great clip to share as well from Abraham. Haven't shared an Abraham clip in a while. Before we do, I wanted to throw something out that I've been meaning to talk about really since the beginning of the coronavirus stuff, and that is managing your health and wellness. And it's something that I've taken even more seriously, as I've talked about, making sure I'm getting exercise and making sure I'm getting sunlight. And one of the things that I've been taking consistently, almost daily for several years now, is Purium products. And, we did a group cleanse together many years ago. Actually, our chef here at the Mystic Manor, he is one of the healthiest people I know. And it started with him doing the first Purium group cleanse that we did together. He lost 70 pounds. Now he is like super, super fit and super healthy, and only feeds us here at the Mystic Manor with super high vibe food. And so I got thinking about it. I was like, wow, why haven't I talked about this before now and reminded people? Because, I haven't been talking about the power of Purium and how much I enjoy their products. The Purium Power Shake is my favorite thing, that along with the Spectrum Greens, which has every different green that captures light on the different spectrum, the rays from the sun, essentially, the different light spectrum. So that's why they call it Spectrum Greens. But I take those two things, I put them together. I have a shake almost every day with, either almond milk or coconut milk or sometimes water. But anyway, I just want to throw it out there because, a lot of us are getting really over this quarantine stuff, yet the numbers, certainly here where I'm at in LA, are continuing to go up with people coming down with coronavirus. And I think the number one thing to focus on, there's so much different information out there. The one thing I know I can focus on is my health and my wellness and my own immune system. So for me, Purium is such an excellent way to get, high vibe products. I mean, you can go back, if you actually go to positivehead.com/transformation, there's links to where I interviewed the founder, one of the founders, actually both founders at different times. And there's a bunch of videos and information there, and goes into why I take the products. And it's one of the only things I've stayed consistent with for years in my life because I actually enjoy them so much. And it's the most efficient way to get these high vibe nutrients into my system that I've found. I mean, they dehydrate the food at the farms with no heat. So almost all of the nutritional value is retained. It's all organic. The owner cries talking about healing the world with superfood. So highly recommend that. If you guys are interested, go to positivehead.com/transformation, or you can go straight to their website, ishoppurium.com, if you want to order. The Power Shake is my favorite. Along with the Spectrum Greens. But if you use code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, you get 25% off. So I've been meaning to throw that out there and just, remind you guys of this very efficient, as Dave Sandoval, the founder, put it, it's the most efficient way to get high vibe superfoods into people's systems that's been created, from the farm with no processing directly to you. No biohazards within 100 miles of the farms that they work with, et cetera, et cetera. So you can learn more on the transformation page if you'd like, but just wanted to throw that out. And with that being said, I'm going to, I want to go down this path, this road, this topic that is so important to all of us about, how much we hold, right? And how much we hold that hurts us. You guys have heard me talk a lot about my past business partner experiences where, I can look at it. My brother and me had a very rough past business partner experience where a close friend sort of played the role of villain or betrayer, if you will. And my brother holds on to it so much. And I've really allowed it to move through me for the most part because I realized they were playing a role they were meant to. So what a difference, right? Let's say someone who you really loved and really cared about, it's like a brother to you or sister to you or parent or family member, and they betray you. I can take the perspective of, wow, I'm so hurt and I'm so angry and it was so unjust what they did and how dare they? And what's happening to my immune system when I'm doing that? What's happening, speaking of being healthy, what's happening is so many things are happening chemically, the stress that's created, it literally is, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. The more you hold, the more you hurt. When you can bring the light of awareness to a challenging situation and say, okay, that really hurt, that really stung, that was really challenging. And it happened for me, not to me. And I'm able to grow. I get to choose to be, to let this go, not even for them so much as my own self. It's an opportunity to strengthen your emotional immune system, right? Because as you expand into the next greatest and grandest version of yourself, you're going to be required to be able to process more intense interactions, more intense things. Imagine for a moment, if you will, evolving into, a being that maybe, like, for example, I believe everything has a spirit that animates it, including this planet, right? We're a cell in the body of planet Earth, and there is a spirit that animates the Earth that's sort of a more evolved version of us that, it's a family member, right? And so imagine the capacity for dealing with hardship or pain or negative energy that something like the spirit of the earth would need to be able to have the capacity to manage. I think back to years ago, if you guys go and search on Positive Head in the archives where it goes all the way back to episode 1. You can search message from the earth spirit, channeling from the earth spirit, something like that. And you can find this message that I read that I love, from this old book that I have called The Psychic Explorer. And it talks about that very thing. The earth spirit says, look, it's not always easy to process all these other beings' issues within my, the container of my own being. And yet that's something that I believe is reflective of as we evolve, we are going to be able to hold space for more. And you can hold space for more by having the perspective and the understanding that it's happening to help you sharpen your axe. It's helping to make you a smooth sailor, right? Smooth seas never made for, or rather a skilled sailor. Smooth seas never made for a skilled sailor, right? So how adaptable are you? Have you gotten more adaptable? Has the coronavirus made you more adaptable? Have you been able to deal with things you didn't think you could before, right? We are such adaptable beings. Look at how adaptable a child is. They're so adaptable. And that's in essence who you are at your core, right? Lest you become like a child, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. My favorite Bible verse, right? The only one I ever quote pretty much. How adaptable are you? How childlike are you to be able to shake something off? Look at when kids fight, right? They can then, it's like it never happened, an hour later oftentimes. We hold on to things so much. Look at the animal kingdom. They're so in the moment. They're not holding on to all these past things. If you can start to understand, whatever someone did to you, it's okay. It doesn't mean it didn't sting. It doesn't mean it's right from a certain perspective. I get it. Some people are like, what do you mean it's okay? It happened for a reason is what I mean. And it's there to make you into the next greatest and greatest version of yourself. And through that, especially if it was really challenging, that's just because you're such a badass that your soul signed up for that so that you could work through it and become stronger on the other side, right? It's just like back to using this virus example. A lot of times our immune systems, that's how they get so strong, is being exposed to all this gnarly stuff. And so that's kind of what's happening on all levels with you and me, and who and what we are is not for the faint of heart. And if you did something that you're holding on to, that you feel really guilty about, whatever it is, let it go. It's okay. You did the best you could with where you were at that moment. It's okay. Beating yourself up for something that you've done in the past is absolutely futile. It's not helping anyone out there that's holding on in this moment. It's okay. You're supposed to trip up. That's part of the journey. And when you can be wise enough to forgive yourself, to forgive others, you're really moving into a place of an expanded version of yourself. If something comes into your life, don't hold on too tight. If it comes, let it. If it goes, let it. You are an eternal being with everything at your disposal, everything within you. You don't ever need to cling to anything as if this is the last chance I get for a relationship. This is the last, the only opportunity I'll get. I've got to hold on to this and be fearful of losing whatever it is. No, you don't. You're an eternal being who's going to have so many things continue to come in and out of your awareness and experience and within your grasp, and it's going to slip through and over and over and over and over again. Get used to this. Whatever life takes away from you, let it go. With that being said, I'm going to play a clip called Let It Go. I found on the Spiritual Buzz YouTube page. It's Abraham Hicks. Haven't played Abraham in a while. My favorite. So good. Check this out.
Good morning.
It is.
It is. Hi, live streamers. What I just heard is about stopping the wobble early, catching the contradictory thought early.
Because
you don't want momentum to take it beyond.
True enough, but because.
Law of attraction, because I want to feel good.
There. Because having experienced clarity makes wobble no longer an option. Wobble was an option before I tasted clarity. I was willing to put up with it before.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is the only reason that I don't do this because I'm willing to put up? I've put up with negative emotion. I've had these beliefs that I think I have to practice. That's why I've put up with the wobble. But
well, every day, do you get this idea of the wobble? Does it make sense to you? So, after a little while of feeling the clarity that comes as a result of momentum increasing on a subject, there's just an empowerment about that makes you unwilling to go back. Esther's been asking herself, because this conversation about wobble is new. It's a new, fresh realization. And she's been asking herself a lot in the last few days about different beliefs. As she finds, an idea will occur to her, and as she will start to follow the idea, this is really important to acknowledge. When an idea is born, any beliefs that you currently hold about it that flow with it or against it come to the surface. Any beliefs that are still active in your experience. So the beliefs the hindering beliefs show themselves to you and give you an opportunity to work the wobble out of them or not. That's really what expansion is about. It's working. And so Esther's been saying to herself, as an idea will occur to her, and then right on the heels of this fresh idea will come all of the reasons why it might not be a good idea. And then she's acknowledging, all right, I got a wobble going on. Where did the new idea come from? What was I doing? How was I feeling when that new idea came? Was that new idea born out of inspiration or desperation? Was it born out of desire or was it born out of need? Did it come from something I want, or did it come from something that I want to fix? And in the moment that she acknowledges, oh, that was a fresh idea. That was an inspired idea. I was in a wobble-free place. That idea came, but then the beliefs that I hold that contradict it are now coming to the surface, so that now I can begin de-wobbling this. So if she jumps in with both feet, then she just wobbles more. But if she acknowledges, oh, a new idea came, and undoubtedly I have some beliefs that are hindering that new idea, I'll see where this goes. Then what happens is, each time she thinks about it, the thought will come again. And each time the thought comes again, she has an opportunity of choosing a less wobble-free approach to it, until in a very short period of time, we're talking in some cases less than 5 minutes. We're talking in some cases about 5 days. It depends upon what the subject was and how big the wobble was within it. But in every case, the diminishing of the wobble, or better way of saying it, the focusing upon what is wanted, she can begin to feel the momentum of it. This is what deliberate creation is. It's not riding over the top of others. It's not fixing things that are broken. It's managing the vibrational frequencies within you. It's managing the vibrations between your desires and your beliefs. Esther said to us in the early days, many, many years ago, but Abraham, that's true. That's true. I believe that I should objectively evaluate that and think about that. And we said to her, there are all kinds of things that are true that you do not serve yourself by keeping active in your vibration. It's true because someone offered the vibration of it until they realized it in their experience. We would not be evaluating things based upon their truth, because there are things that you want that are true and things that you don't want that are true. We would be measuring them against our true desire, and that's the thing. That's why we wanted to visit with you about it, because you've been playing with this long enough that you really get what we mean. You understand what core desires are. You know what aligned desires are. You know the difference between a desire that you've practiced with the source within you. You know what those deep resonating desires are. You know what love feels like. You know what appreciation feels like. You know what clarity feels like. You can know in every moment whether that thought matches up or whether it doesn't. And if it doesn't, let it go. Don't hit it head on. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Exactly. Exactly. And as you do that, what happens is those thoughts have less airtime in your vibration. They become less part of your vibrational makeup. They become less of your point of attraction, so that you wobble less relative to all things, and then you become, others will observe you, one of those masters who simply focuses on something in a resistance-free attitude, and universal forces just bring it about. And they call you magic, or they call you blessed, or they call you unfair, or they call you greedy. But what you really are is someone who's practiced the wobble out of your vibration.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It is so. I went to see the Lady Gaga concert. That woman is a genius. And afterwards, the next day, I was feeling, I had some wobble. I was feeling off. And instead of doing actions that would not help me, I went and took a hot bath. And as I was standing up out of the bath, I thought of Lady Gaga, who had reimagined Venus from the half shell. Like, that's the concept of her new concert. And so she's coming out of the half shell like this. And I thought, that's genius, to go back to the old masters and reimagine them for today. And then I thought, how could I do that? Antony and Cleopatra by Shakespeare, setting that in the modern day. And instantly, I have 2 writers who are already working on it right now, a director, and it's happening. We're shooting it in Manhattan and in Harlem. It's amazing how things come together.
So an idea hatched within you, and nearly as fast as the hatching came, the means to bring it about is hatching all around you. That's wobble-free creating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So have we made you wary of the wobble or appreciative of your awareness of the wobble? Have we helped you to feel the benefit of early detection of the wobble? Do you know that there are some, you know when you say, oh, that person really yanks my chain? You've practiced big time wobble with that person? When you say, oh, that person pushes my buttons. You've just practiced a wobble with that, haven't you? So there are subjects within you that are easy for you to be wobble free, and subjects within you that are more difficult for you to be wobble free. You work the wobble out of the wobbly ones by focusing on the ones that don't wobble. You don't pick the wobbly ones and go to work on them. They'll just wobble more. You focus on what doesn't wobble, and law of attraction will just add power and momentum to that until you're wherever you want to be on whatever subject you want to be there. In other words, good to know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stop the wobble early. Stop it early. That's such a powerful thing. When you can start to really be aware of when you're spiraling in the wrong direction, catch the contrast. Wobble is something that comes up when an idea is born, she said. Any beliefs, good or bad, come to the surface, right? So I love, the idea that hindering beliefs, these ones that are, that are holding you back, they actually give you an opportunity to work out your wobble, right? Work out your muscles. This is, and I love how she talks about, and that's how we expand. And where, when you're analyzing that whole process, where did the idea come from? So was it an idea that came from inspiration or desperation? Did it come from desire or need? From something I want or want to fix? Where did the new idea come from? How was I feeling at the time it came, right? Big difference between inspiration and desperation. So when you can look at that, you can then assess, what is the root of this? And if the root of this is strong, it's inspiration, then that isn't a cue. It's like, oh, okay, I was very inspired and now I'm getting an opportunity to work out my wobble. This is how we deliberately create. In focusing on what you want is the path, right? When these things come up that cause a wobble, there are all kinds of things that you can always focus on that can be true from a certain perspective. But that which is like unto itself is drawn, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. So if you're giving a lot of energy to the thing a truth that you don't want to see more of, you're actually doing a disservice to yourself, right? Focus on the parts that you want to see again and again and again. Give it less airtime and less point of attraction. The more you can learn to observe it when it comes up and then consciously focus on what doesn't wobble, the less power you give it. You guys have heard me talk about this before too. Where do they tell race car drivers to focus their attention when they're training? They're going around the track. If they start to spin out, where do they tell them to look? They tell them, whatever you do, don't look at the wall. Why? What are you going to hit? The wall, if that's where your attention is. Where attention goes, energy flows. So you are doing it. You are learning how to navigate this stuff like a boss. We are all doing it. How adaptable are you? How much can you handle? How calm? How much can you be the calm in the eye of the storm? That is your destiny. You can linger and flail and fight your whole way there, or you can start to really see how these dots connect and how it's all happening for you and through you. And the quicker we learn these lessons, the less we have to repeat them. And so that's a big one, right? Unless you want to keep beating your head against that wall, it's really, really important that you just stop holding on to so much and focusing on what we don't want to see more of in our life. And one of the ways we can do that, of course, is constantly coming back to not only focusing on what we want to see more of, but also being in the moment. Because a lot of times, focusing on the past or the future is what most people are doing. Like they're longing for the past or wishing for the future, and it's all not in the now. None of it exists. You can't show me your past. You can show me remnants of it. You can tell me about it, maybe show me a picture, but it's not actually there, right? Same with the future, right? You can tell me about it. It's never going to show up like you imagine. All of your power. It's why Eckhart Tolle's book was so popular and powerful. The Power of Now, or Ram Dass's book, Be Here Now, because we all inherently know this is where our power lies, and yet we're giving it away, literally just losing and depleting ourselves by being too focused in the past or the future when all your power is in the moment. And with that being said, I have a song to leave you with. Guess what it's called? In the Moment. Yeah, that was a little setup. This is Soul Rising. It's a new track. Hope you guys enjoy it. I certainly do. Until next time, journey well. Love you so, so much. And if you're feeling the call to come for a week retreat style Mystic Manor immersion, remember to go now and book your time to speak with me directly about stepping into the optimistic vortex at calendly.com/talk with Brandon while there are still spots left. Otherwise, I look forward to co-creating magic with you at the Mystic Manor.